Thank you.
We're all set.
Hello, everyone. I'm not sure who's in the room yet because I'm purposefully not looking at you. I'm going to ask you to do something for me. And in the chat, there's a link to a KWL chart. And in that chart, the very first question asks, what do you already know about prior learning assessment, credit for prior learning? And I'd like you to fill the question one and two in. I guess I'll escape here for a minute. um, the first question is, what do you already know about prior learning assessment? And then the second question is, what do you want to know? So what do you want to get from this presentation? So we're 1 minute in, and if you've just popped in, I thank you for coming. If you just go directly to the chat and there's a link, and the link will bring you to a Word document. And I can see John Kane is already in there and Grace is already in there. So thank you. You can just add your responses there. Again, what do you already know about KWL? And then the second question is, what do you want to know about prior learning assessment? And I've put four questions in there for you, but those are my questions, so you can't use those. We're at 101 and about 117. I'll stop and see what questions might be there. It's nice to see everybody here. And prior learning assessment is not new on our campus. I'm gonna as soon as I see people actually putting questions in, I'll start talking. The pressure is on. Okay, thank you, Grace, for starting to write something in there. And then can you also put some things in? What do you want to know? And many of you were probably at the presentation um, this past winter when um, Dr. Jill Pippin told us where we were with prior learning assessment. So I'm just gonna sort of catch us up. So here we go. I'm Marcia Burrell, and I'm working with Jill Pippin in the Division of Extended Learning. And uh, basically, in the winter breakout, Dr. Pippin gave us an overview of prior learning assessments and where we are in our campus. Again, if you've just popped in, please go to the KWL chart that is in the chat and let me know what you want to know, and so I can focus my attentions a little bit, at least at the end, for your question. So Jill set us up really well. In this PowerPoint presentation, I'm basically going to give you an overview of where we are. Jill gave us a history of credit for prior learning. She told us about the fact that, we've been working with computer science and information literacy. Um, we offer military credit. There are all kinds of terminology around credit for prior learning, but she set us up really well. And so after that, I met with her and we got a document from SUNY on March 11. It was a document from the chancellor, and it was to the presidents of all of the colleges. And if we look at page 5 of 18, in that document, basically, we're setting up a system where everything we do with prior learning assessment is going to be documented on our campus, but then also we have to report that back to SUNY. And so I picked page 5 of 8 to let you know that we're not doing this just for fun. We're doing it because we should. We're doing it because we have to, and we're doing it to work with the students that we have on this campus and will have over the next 10 years. You have access to that document. It's such exciting reading, but it does give you an idea of the fact that this is something that we must do and we will do. And we're already doing it well, but we just have a space for improving. I'm just taking a look at what people want to know. I know I see Grace still in there, and I see that people are still telling me what they already know. I'm going to move forward here. Um, for context, the fact is between 2021 and 2020, 31, we're still going to have our 18 to 25 population, but there's going to be a significant growth in our number of students that are older than 25 and returning to college and come from diverse backgrounds. If you take a look at this list, new majority learners may identify with one or more of the following. When you read through this list, learners who live with a disability, learners who are currently or were formerly incarcerated, learners who have enrolled in higher education older than 22, learners who are low income, learners who are undocumented, learners who are immigrants to the U.S. or or the child of an immigrant, learners who speak English, the ESL population, and actually ESL, I should say, um, um, English speakers of other languages, learners who are a person of color, specifically Black, Indigenous, or Latinx. This is a list of the populations of students we already have. We already are beginning to meet their needs. But the Credit for Prior Learning initiative is to look at that population, but then look at adult students who fit into these categories. We already have a system that's set up for them, but we want to be more prepared for those adults that come. You've probably heard this from your students over the last few years. I can't work right now because my school schedule won't allow me to. So it's hard because if I put my daughter in daycare, I won't be able to go to school because I pay for it. So I'll have to work. But the whole point of putting her in daycare was so I can go to school. And you probably heard post-pandemic, the pandemic has made everything so much harder, from getting laid off twice from two different jobs, not being able to pay my bills. It put me in even more debt as a college student. These are not new statements about who our students are, but colleges across the country are beginning to look at themselves a little bit different and say, what are they going to do to reframe themselves to meet the needs of adult students and to meet the needs of a population that may be different than it was 50 years ago. And so this is a conceptual framework about the different way some colleges are reframing themselves because they want to stay open and because they want to meet the needs of the students that are coming to them. I'm going to stop talking for a second, and I'm just going to ask you to read through one or two of those. So the learner certifier, some institutions are recognizing learning across a wide contact range of contexts. In particular, helping students codify, even gamify their out of classroom learning experiences and translate them into a coherent whole that makes sense to employers and themselves. And when you read these definitions, really formulated by Delasky, we're getting a sense that the institution of higher learning is continuing to undergo a transformation, but we have to embrace that transformation if we're going to meet the needs of our students. Okay, it's funny, I don't know how to click. At Stanford, at the design lab, they are rethinking what college means. College is no longer the students receive 4 years of college education, front loaded, and that's it. And they're we have thought about college as a sort of lifetime of learning opportunities, but now we're beginning to weave the life school work definition, where they're saying most learning happens outside of school. The future of learning is how to capture it, assess it, and credential it wherever it happens. That's where we are with credit for prior learning. The challenge is, how do we assess and credential non-classroom learning? Working with faculty and staff to recognize learning that happens beyond the confines of the classroom. How do we push our colleagues to adapt and accept the new majority learners that I talked about before? And then reinforcing and encouraging collaboration as much as competition. That's the weave that they talk about at Stanford. That's the weave that we're undergoing because we've been doing credit for prior learning before. But now the challenge is really now on us, faculty, staff, professionals, to embrace this because the population of students needs this and will be more successful. The challenge that I undertook under the vision of extended learning is I talked to a lot of different people across campus, and I met with Ramin, the associate provost, and I met with the IPAC chair. You can see the list of people that I met with, but I spent a lot of time reading materials from the Council for Adult and Experiential Learning and the American Council on Education, because they have all of the materials about how other college campuses are doing it. And you might say to me, but Empire State College has been doing this because that's how they started. Well, they are doing it, but every individual campus is going to do it a little bit differently because the culture at SUNY Oswego is very different than the culture at Empire State College. And so I met with a colleague at the University of Arkansas, Fort Smith, and after speaking with her and different people across campus, we decided to create a course and a course outline to um, do a better job of credit for prior learning for the adult students that are going to be coming here. And I have to be careful. I'm not saying do a better job. What I'm saying is we need to do more than just offer, CLEP tests and tests around military and opportunities in different departments to exchange work experience for college credit. So this is the next level. Um, so we've created a course, and the course is called Documenting Prior Learning for College Credit. I'm going to talk at you a little bit to let you know that we decided to go with CTE. CTE is a department, Career and Technical Education. It's a department in the School of Education. They already grant prior learning credit for many of the vocational areas that their students come to. And so they already have expertise in how to translate work experience into college credit for a degree. So they agreed to house this course and have it under their division. I met with their department for this course outline, and actually I'll show you the let's look at the objectives first, and then I'll go to the course outline. But you can take a look at the list of course objectives for this course. There isn't anything new that you haven't seen in other courses. I'll say that the audience of people who've taught GLS courses might recognize some of these topics. But the fact is, students are going to be engaged in these objectives in order to convert their work experience into college credit. Um, Students will earn 3 credits as part of any degree program. They will use the skills gained in the course throughout the degree program. They'll be creating a portfolio. We're hoping to work with the associate deans to create a process for evaluating these portfolios. But this is where it's important for faculty to buy into this, because faculty in the end will be making the agreement that the portfolio created by this particular student connects to this particular course, so they may or may not have to repeat that class in order to complete the degree program. There's no stated or written limit for how many credits the student can petition to earn. So they would take the course, meet the objectives, earn 3 credits of upper division, and then it would be up to the students to then take what they've learned in the course to petition to the department in order to explain, explicate anything that they think maps to the work experience and the degree program course that they're interested in. Um, Basically, why are we doing this? According to the Lumina Foundation, we're doing this because we must. It's enhanced access to equity, accelerated degree completion. It's a cost savings to the student. And there's a lot of data which tells us that there are increased graduation rates. We're doing something that I think is helping the student translate the work experience into the college experience, and then they're going to be able to translate that back from the college experience back to work. um, I want to show you a little video that I think helps you better understand this whole process. And I think I have time. I have 1 minute and 23 seconds. I probably don't have time. The last thing that I wanted to do, I'm stopping share, is that we have a group of people that have agreed to serve on a advisory committee. And that advisory committee is really there to provide feedback about the process we're using for credit for prior learning, but also to create a communication system for not just concerns, but also as we get more students who want to do this, we're going to be working with them to make sure that they transition into the departments of interest. I'm going to take a look at what you said in the documents for I'm stopping share. You're seeing me fumbling around here. I want to see what you might have said for what you wanted to know, and then I would like you to tell me in that document. I'm just going to open it if I can. Okay, Marcia. Let's see. Hold on 1 second. That's my timer going off. I'm trying to get to my document that tells me what you said you wanted to learn about credit for prior learning. Okay, I'm clicking and I think I'm there. And so now I'm going to put this on you. The last thing is, what specific aspects or details about credit for prior learning did you find interesting or important? And I've got 2 minutes, so I'm going to ask you to just open up your screens and see what questions and comments that you might have. Well, you don't have to open your screens. You can just start talking. I guess I'll pick on someone. Um, Sarah, is there anything that you learned that you didn't already know?
Well, as you know, I work really closely with Jill in extended learning. So these are topics of conversation that we have on a weekly basis. So, in terms of the presentation she gave, I was right there with her talking about the testing pieces mostly. But I've been doing some presentations on PLA as well. So I'm pretty versed on that, but I am very interested in your coming up course with the portfolio because I do work with a number of adult students. And so we're really looking, the APCs and extended learning are really looking at the ideal candidate for the course. Who would be that person that we should be having the conversation with, that they're a good fit, and trying to discuss with them the value in this portfolio class because it is just very new. And the idea of taking a course and getting 3 upper division credits is appealing to students, but then, certainly additionally getting credit for other prior learning is very appealing as well. I think a big question that we have is, what is the likelihood? Am I more likely to receive prior learning assessment credit through this portfolio in a certain department over another? Are there some divisions or schools on campus that are more hesitant to give credit for prior learning via the portfolio? Those are the kinds of questions that kind of come to mind and students are asking about.
Yeah, Sarah, thank you. You're a perfect bookend to this presentation. The fact is that, when I've spoken to other institutions, there's that exact same apprehension, but then the course is supposed to help students gain the confidence to translate the work experience into the academic language. And in some places, students have earned up to 15 credits from their work experience, but we won't know until we try, and we're definitely going to try in the fall. I appreciate the work that you're doing to recruit the students. We'll see what happens at the end. I'm invested in this and I'm having a good time with it. I appreciate everyone in the room. Sarah, you helped make this really work. And if there are other comments, everyone has access to the PowerPoint. Everyone has access to the links. If you go to the chat, the link will bring you to the PowerPoint, the links, and then the other information, especially the document from SUNY. Thank you for your time and attention, and email me if you've got additional questions. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Marcia.
Thank you, Marcia.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Happy